is my slam time. Gonna bust up your behind. This is my slam time. Gonna mess up your whole mind. This is my slam time. Gonna bust up your behind. This is my slam time. Gonna mess up your whole mind.
Hello and welcome to this month's episode of Side Talk, Left Side's monthly review show of all things wrestling from absolutely every corner of the earth. My handsome co-host Scott have managed to cram into our daily life and schedule because wrestling never sleeps and stuff like that. Scott, how's it going, dude?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Good to see you. It's been a hot minute since we last met. It doesn't seem the month of July seems to last about 3 minutes, doesn't it? It really flies by.
Yeah, because I've spent most of it sweating my tits off, and I am not happy about it. So
Yeah, it's been lovely today, but I understand it's not everyone's cup of tea. But summer's here. Here I am at Wembley.
Dig in the background. It looks like you're about to sit down and start calling play by play. Some colour commentary. Anyway, right, yeah. So AEW All In is something we will be getting to at some point in the episode, but we're going to start kind of back to front this month because me and Scott have been to quite a few between us in indie shows and stuff, proving that Brit Wrestling is alive and well. So we are going to start there. To be honest, I'm pretty hyped about this bit. So, dude, Progress was what 2-3 days ago? 2 days ago.
Yep.
So far away. Scott was there.
Weekend just gone. There was Progress, the Devil on My Shoulder, at the Electric Ballroom. Sold out crowd, really good atmosphere, and it was a great show. I think there was about 5 hours of wrestling by the time we'd emerged back into it's still daylight. It's that time of year. It's weird when you've been in a dark room. Yeah, you can go blinking out into the sun. But yeah, it was a really great show. They opened with a pre-show with promoting the Noah tour, which is coming up in September. So
thanks for that.
It's going to be a great show. I mean, they kind of explained the slightly different flavor Noah has with the changes in the rules, like the 20 counts, and you have to have a deliberate rope break. There can't be any fingers touching the rope. It has to be a clean grab of the rope, and the compare is G-Man, I believe. In his green jacket came out and hyped up the crowd, did a really good job at getting everyone going. And the match we saw was Saxon Huxley versus Taishi Ozawa. Really good match. They went on for about 10 minutes, really showcased off the Noah style, the kind of match you'd expect to see, and probably sold a few tickets on the back of that alone. So that was a really good little pre-show. That started at half an hour before the main card. So it was great to have like a dark match before we had the main card. And it also lent into things that happened during the show. Ozawa was beaten. He went back to the dressing room. A bit later in the show, we saw some footage, which is nice that they're doing video packages and showing them on the screen where he kind of was doubting himself and should he, he's looking at a Lucha Libre mask, should he maybe change up his attitude? And he gets interrupted by Danhausen. So everyone's like, "Way!" And so it was pretty much 90% people in Danhausen t-shirts, and it's they're obviously very keen to see that chap, and they can understand why it was good to. They got some great names coming over to Progress. The first match was Axel Tischer in a match, Atlas title match against Mike D. Mike D's quite new to the Progress scene, as far as I know. Chap from Belgium, and they had an absolute war. Went on for about 15 minutes. really won the crowd over with their. Obviously, they're both got old and new crowd favourites. Tisha with the win, but he really put Mike D Strong across in defeat, and I think they'll be running that one back, and that's it's nice to see that kind of booking where you have it's the beginning of something that you may not have expected to see. They had the next match was a singles match, Man Like Doris versus Kid Like Us 2. It went for about 10 minutes. Great match. It was kind of billed as a match to for the people that were like some of the outstanding performances during Strong Style, their last event at Camden, and it's nice to see them build and showcase, the guys that were fan favorites in that tournament having a match. I think Man Like Doris's entrance lasted about as long as the as the match, because the whole crowd were up and singing, and it was more like
I say, oh, 1, 2, 1, oh, 1.
It was that song "Free from Desire."
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so the crowd was Doris is on fire, like us too is terrified. So that whole bit, and it was more like being at a club on a Sunday afternoon than at a wrestling match for the beginning. But it was really good, really good, great atmosphere. Then no slowing down. You had Gene Money and Danhausen had a great comedy match. Lots of great spots in there with Teeth and Gene Hausen, and that guy. Gene Money, when he gets on the top ropes and he wants to dive straight on flat on his face, no, there's no one better. That guy can do pratfalls and as well as being a great worker. And him and Danhausen were a great match. Gene Money with the win after Ozawa in the Lucha mask came and did a low blow on Danhausen. So surprised that Danhausen didn't win, but Danhausen got to get some post-match revenge and hit Gene Money with a go to sleep. So
nice.
There you go. And yeah,
did you get to do the tequila dance?
There was a time for that, but they always do a what's the Beetlejuice dance, the Congo, half time. So that's always a popular. Then in massive contrast to that, Paul Robinson and Malik had a Proteus title match, which could only be won by tap out or knockout. That was a really brutal death match. Chairs, there was not enough chairs. So at one point, the crowd in the front row were getting up out of their seats and offering Malik chairs to throw at Paul Robinson's head. And there was blood and chair shots, and yeah, it was pretty gnarly. It was about 20 odd minute war. Paul Robinson ultimately victorious, but Malik and really put over strong in defeat. Really had a, as I called it, the heavy hitter. He the last time I saw those guys, they were in a tag team together called R&M, and now there's some bad blood and some really violent spots in that. And must mention Malik Costa. He went through a table, Heyman style, and yeah. So props for him to take an X. That was a nasty crack that table made when he went through it.
Yeah.
We had Charles Crowley and Session Moth Martina tagged together. Session Moth was his mystery partner. They defeated
back from injury, right?
Yeah, that's right. Again, another big sing along when Session Moth came to the ring. It lasted nearly as long as the match. He wasn't overly keen on. She was expecting to be teamed with Gene Money because there's the joke she missed the last show, and that's who she was supposed to wrestle with. So her impetus for getting this match was just to get it over with, so she didn't have to hang around with Crowley, who's become a real sympathetic character. Great work from him. And yeah, they were fighting Bussy, And again, really funny match, but some good action in there. And after the match, when Crowley and Martina were victorious, and he thinks, oh, maybe I found my new tag team partners. Kicks him in the nuts, leaves the ring, and sad for Charles, but he'll be back, and it was again a good fun match. Again, it was a relentless pace. We had Leon Slater and Agile Blanc. Next up, again, those guys absolutely. Agile Blanc, a big standout performance from Strong Style 16. Leon Slater, you know what you're getting with Leon, always gives it 100%, massively over with the crowd. Every time he does that run from corner to corner and flips and flips and flips and spins through the air for what seems like an eternity, hits his landing every time. Absolutely phenomenal. And got the victory. But again, both guys looking great on that match.
Be interesting to see if Leon Slater turns up in the whole NXT kind of thing, because that would be just unbelievably awesome for him. Like, especially still in his teens and stuff. So very cool.
Yeah, we've brought this up before. He's kind of like the one to watch. He's going to be like one of the next big names, and TNA have got like him at signed him at a young age, and he's only got upside from so as long as he can stay injury free, and he's going to be a big name. And I think he's almost like there's a lot of talking TNA, with the WWE crossover and talents like Joe Hendry, etc. And I think Leon's quietly getting on with it, but again, with the TNA crowd massively over, and it won't be long before he's doing big things, big championships over in the States.
Absolutely.
So brilliant stuff.
The right way of things.
Yeah. They had a tag team match with LA Taylor and Sky Smithson against the Lana Austin Experience, and they picked up the win. Again, an end to a long-standing feud. Another nice video package before, and a good ending to that match, and really set everyone up for the two main events. Which first one was with the women's title match when Rio defeated Lena Cross. Lena Cross I've not seen before, but an Australian wrestler. And a solid match. It went on for about 12 minutes, but it had a few near falls for both. Wasn't a clear cut. Rio's winning. It kept everyone engaged. Rio, when she picked up the win, was awarded the new Progress Women's Champion belt, and I'm not sure if you've seen it yet, but it's a really nice big white leather belt with silver, really nice. And Rio's still doing great things as the champion. And then
she's also True Grit champion up here. True Grit, of course, with the left side sponsor. So shout out to True Grit.
And and then we had the other main event, which was the world title match between our favorite Luke Jacobs and Kid Lycos. And I think it's the crowd in London are great. The Camden crowd are very vociferous. They love Lycos. He's their guy. But I have to clap Luke, because
Northwest strong, baby.
From day one, he's been our pick for get him to Japan, get him to the States, get this man get him on excursion. He's only going to get, every time you see him, he's better and better. The crowd absolutely were booing him, and Northwest beep word were ringing out. And I thought, well, Lycos has got this, because he's only had the belt for 5 months, and they're not going to upset the crowd with him not winning against Jacobs. When Jacobs won, you could have heard a pin drop sucked in a good way. Everyone
in a good way, yeah.
In a good way. And it's where you see like Luke in other promotions, and he's kind of like a an Ishii kind of character. You know, he's a good guy, but doesn't really play up to a babyface. He's just a tough guy there doing a job, but he's really leaning into the, you know, to the heel persona in Progress. I think he's done an interview today about, you know, how happy he was. He's made everyone in all the Progress fans upset. So yeah, it's unusual. You would get
Amazing.
after the, you know, and you think of Lycos and his fantastic storyline he did with Spike. You think, right, okay, this is just going to be his next big story, and then, you know, big monster comes along, slays the monster, onto the next thing. But Luke Jacobs is now Progress champion. He's now the winner of the Rev Pro Rumble, so he's going to be at the anniversary show next month with a title shot. He could have both belts by the time the summer's over. So
King of English wrestling. Imagine.
yeah,
Could you imagine? That would be so sick. Like, there's a promotion that now doesn't exist up north where I am from, and there was, like, if memory serves, like a rumble, not a rumble, maybe like an eliminator match. There was like 6 people in it. There was Scotty Rock was one of them. Luke Jacobs was another. I feel like I can't remember. I'm just doing it off the top of my head now. So this was like 3, maybe 4 years ago, and like me and Nick, who is the main guy from at the left side, for those who don't know, we were just like leaning into each other, just saying this Luke Jacobs kid looks the absolute bollocks. And then fast forward to now, Progress World Champ, could be Rev Pro World Champ. He's on the Noah tour. He's going to be going into that tour because it's in close association with Progress, with the championship. So, like,
yeah,
hype, man. It really, really is cool to see. And when I finally get to see him on Japanese soil, whether it's for Noah, DDT, New Japan, whatever he wants to do, I will be a very happy boy, because he's smashing it. And I think he's, other than Spike, who we'll get to in a few minutes, he is probably my favorite guy on the British wrestling at the moment. Smashing it. So yeah, congratulations to Luke Jacobs. Cool.
definitely.
Overall, a 6 show then, I'm sure.
Yep. It's a really good show. Really good to get back after a few months off to Camden. Again, great crowd. Really giving it their all, singing, shouting, clapping. You know, everything a crowd should be, drinking. And yeah, it's a really good atmosphere. They've done really good things in Progress recently, like cultivating like a good like environment and a good atmosphere that everyone can enjoy. You know, you'll see the same faces turning up show after show. Everyone has a great time. You know, and yeah, the yeah, you know, it's yeah, I've missed out, like, because it wasn't a match, but you know, Tate Mayfair's and Eddie Dennis setting up a feud as well. So there's, you know,
Nice.
you have you know, non-match stuff, match stuff, you know, big announcements like you say, the Noah tour coming, you know, meet and greets with the wrestlers. You know, it's a really good little show that they put on there, and it's a good venue. Camden Electric Ballroom's like kind of, it's got the balcony all the way around the top, so there's not a bad seat in the house. Whether, you know, your front row, you've got a standing ticket. If you thinking of going to a show and you're thinking, oh, there's only, you know, front row sold out, just come along, you'll find a good spot. You know, people will get you in. The staff are great. There's always well managed. You know, meet and greets are well organized, and you know, get some photos, meet some of the people, the stars of Progress, see some, you know, a lot of talent from, you know, Noah now, and obviously they're working with Defy, so you have, you know, obviously with the latest shows like Danhausen, Bussy, you know, characters coming over. I think they've got a big show coming up with Noah, Defy, and Progress in Germany, which
Oberhausen, I think.
yeah,
That's
and
amazing. So,
yeah,
sounds good. Yeah. Are you going to the Noah tour?
I haven't got my ticket yet, but after I saw the match on Sunday, I was kind of like, yeah, it's basically just because it's of where it falls, unfortunately,
Okay,
so
right, yes.
close to the All In, and it's just a money thing. So I put in
Yeah.
some overtime, and maybe I can scratch some money funds for a ticket. But I think
Yeah.
it would be well worth every penny to go to that.
Yeah, understandable. I got my ticket the day it went on sale because I'm just
Hmm.
so incredibly hyped to see Marufuji in person. And Kino and Kato Katib. Yeah, I can't remember his name.
Yeah, yeah,
But
that's
yeah,
going to be a good. Yeah.
it's going to be good, man. Yeah. So but you did get a ticket to the next Rev Pro show, though, right?
Yeah. Well, here's the thing.
Off the back of a certain announcement with a
Yeah.
certain All
As
Elite star coming over.
Yeah, as Progress had their show in London, in Coventry, Rev Pro were having their show, and
Hmm.
after the match where Oku defeats Dijak, which is again another name we're seeing in Rev Pro, you have Dijak and Trevor Lee announced. Well, and MJF popped up on the screen. Now MJF recently through the international, is it the international championship, formerly the All Atlantic, threw it in the trash.
Yeah, now known as the American Championship or
Now
something.
known
I
as the
can't keep,
American Championship. Yeah.
I can't keep up. Although I'm pretty sure that Rev Pro announced it as the International Championship,
Mm,
regardless of
yeah.
MJF's antics.
Yeah. So again, a callback to Osprey calling the New Japan belt the UK Championship when he had it.
Mhm.
Before he got smashed up by Finley. Ooh, that was a great belt. I love that belt.
Yeah.
And now, yeah. So you've got the gag there. Anything Osprey can do, I can do better. Osprey's last match in the Indies was against Oku. He's kind of gonna, well, I'll beat him, and I'll beat him. After Oku beat Osprey, well, if I beat that guy in his own backyard, you know,
Mhm.
it's there's so obviously the morning after it was announced, there was the typical who, what, where's the storyline, all the nonsense, but this has got a lot of callbacks and weaves its story into New Japan, Rev Pro. Its tendrils reach everywhere. AEW, and also it will be MJF will be over in the UK a fortnight before All In to do some press.
Yeah.
I've
If
got
he turns up on Good Morning Britain or something, that'd be hilarious.
that would be great. Yeah, the match card they've announced so far is pretty stacked. You've got Leon Slater, we were talking about in Progress, is a match against Jack Cartwheel.
Yeah.
Donovan Dijak versus Robbie X. Amazing. Trevor Lee against Luke Jacobs. Again, wow.
Hell yeah.
And then MJF and Oku, and there's plenty of other matches on there. But yeah, it was announced
That's,
like kind of like as a new show without any matches. The way they did it, they didn't announce any matches on the pre-sale, so you could get your ticket. And then they said when we announce the card, it will sell out. And I was
mhm.
like, who's going to be on the card that's going to sell out York Hall? What match are they going to announce? And yeah, when I was in the queue at the ballroom to meet Danhausen, there was people chatting. MJF just pops up on the screen in commentary, and there's a real buzz. MJF's coming, and I was like, really? So I had to get on outside when I got a signal. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
coming over, and it did make me think with like Dijak and Trevor Lee coming over and having fights that close to All In for Rev Pro. Maybe we will see them at AEW in All In. Maybe they could be AEW bound. It just, the way
Possibly.
these promotions are working very closely together, it's a possibility.
Yeah, I wouldn't rule it out completely. Though AEW is overstacked on the roster side of things.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, every time every time I look, there's another there's another person rumored to be leaving. I think today's rumor is Danny Garcia, but I don't think he will. But
I think he'll stay. I hope he'll stay at least, because I'm a big fan.
I think basically anyone that comes to the end of their contract would be silly not to renegotiate, and especially with competition, use that as leverage to get more money. Just makes sense.
Yeah, definitely. So in the spirit of talking about live shows that we've seen with our own eyes this month, so there was a True Grit Pride Spectacular Extravaganza, whatever you want to call it, which is a celebration of love and just acceptance, and a place of just a safe space for people to do what they love to do. And it was a lot of fun. I got to see a lot of our favourites, Commander Starlet at Sterling, who's just amazing. She's so much fun. And Helen Charlotte Campbell, who was on the show a couple of days ago. Look out for that episode. And just, it was just, loads of fun. I got to see Ali Katch for the first time, which was pretty cool. She was in 2 matches. There was like a Rumble qualifier, and then the actual like Rumble at the I think it was a Rumble at the end of the show that she was in as well. She was one of the last 2 people in the ring with Priscilla, Queen of the Ring, who pinned Ali Katch to become the Pride champ, which is pretty cool. So yeah, good times all around. But what I really want to talk about is at the last title show, Scotty Rourke versus Spike Trivet for the title championship was just poetry in my humble opinion. It was just, I mean, we were so close to it, like as close as my laptop screen is to my face. The room was right there, because the room is a little on the small side, but just having it like right there, like a performance from both dudes, just like no other. I love Spike Trivet. He is my guy on the indies at the minute. Love the character work. I love the mannerisms. I love listening to him talk. He's very articulate, and I love his clean accent, if that makes sense. Like it just was so well, and he was giving Scotty just loads of like grief through the match and stuff. Just like just picking holes and picking fun at him and stuff. It was brilliant, and the match itself was probably the best match I've ever seen with my own eyes, up close and personal. And having been at loads of shows and All In last year, it was absolutely brilliant. Scotty was a great title champ, and he's one of the best on the independents at the moment as well. He's got a big future. But Spike Trivet is just, I love the guy. As soon as that music hits, I'm just ready. I'm ready, baby. So yeah, really amazing. Just back and forth. I love the psychology of Spike. Everything means something. No wasted motion. It's just, you can't teach that. I wouldn't imagine you can anyway. But he's just knows his character so well and what he's all about so well, and he's an uber talented fella, and I hope he makes lots of money somewhere because he's that good. Like, but that's me gushing about. That's my favorite match of the year. It's not been on TV. but it'll probably be in my top 2 matches of the year altogether by year's end. So yeah, it was. I was thinking about it for like 3 days afterwards for a wrestling match, like a independent show, half an hour away from my house. Like,
Yeah.
Isn't always the case, but like, you know, when you're thinking about how awesome it was, and I just couldn't stop like talking about it to people and all that good stuff. So
Yeah.
10 out of 10, 10 out of 10 from both fellas. And Spike got the win and is the new title champion. Shout out to Tidal, who also we work very, very closely with. Yeah, just we were truly blessed that night to have seen something so awesome. So yeah, happy days. I think that pretty much 2 shows. That's all I went to last month. Well, this month.
Yeah.
But yeah. So we've spent half hour waxing lyrical about the UK independents and how awesome they are. So should we move on to the air quotes major companies over stateside?
Let's go.
Yes. So AEW MJF versus Will Ospreay. Go.
Oh wow. Don't getting straight into the deep end of that. Yeah. Yeah, and I think like what you were just saying now about your match is Scotty Rourke and Spike, and like the just psychology, storytelling, and like when you're there at a live show, and how great and how that hits you different and stays with you. And then sometimes you'll see a match on TV and you'll be like, you almost feel like you saw it live because you were hooked and you're in there. And yeah, and this is like the beauty of wrestling. You're talking about, like more intimate venues when we're talking about the UK scene and things or you can go and see like 30 minutes from your house and, be some of the greatest stuff you can see. And then you can see something which is, a TV match, but it goes on for an hour. And the stuff they were doing is just like, we can't really do it justice because it's kind of so difficult, so difficult, the stuff they were doing. And you knew it worked because the first thing people who don't usually watch wrestling, who I work with, the first thing they wanted to talk to me about on the following day when they saw me next after they knew I'd watched this match, what do you think of MJF and Ospreay?
Yeah.
Good or bad, they couldn't help but talk about it. Why was it an hour? Why was it on TV? But I just said, look, it's got you talking about wrestling. What match in, you guys have, you'll dip your toe in now and again. You'll listen to this, that. You watch the occasional bit. This is good. Both you guys watched it, and and we're having a discussion, and whether you agree with me, disagree with me, like certain aspects of their styles or dislike things that they're doing, we're talking about it, which I think is great.
Absolutely.
And it just shows that when those guys are allowed to play to their strengths, then they're like, the matches we've seen recently, and the last match you were talking about, when you've got two people that know their character and they're in their element, then it's magic. And Ospreay is doing all his Ospreay moves, and MJF is there as the wrestler. He can do that stuff, but he's playing the heel. You can know all the backstory about why, the jealousy, the Adam Cole betrayal, why MJF is where he's at. You can look, where Ospreay's come from recently with his loss, his kind of overestimation of himself against Swerve, and now where he's at there. And you're kind of thinking, right, well, we kind of know where this is going to go, but then they'll work a match and you'll be like, I don't know where this is going. I don't know what's going to happen, and
Yeah.
and it was absolutely fantastic. And for them to finish it on, I think it was at 59 minutes and 58 seconds.
Yeah, like truly. At that point, I thought they were going to do a draw and then do the replay at Wembley.
Mm-hmm.
So when MJF got the pin, I was just like, "What?
Yeah.
Holy shit! Like seriously?" So like big time field match. But the question is, where the hell do they go for Wembley? Because assuming that will be the match.
Yeah.
It's not been announced yet, but I'm sure it will be. What the hell do they do? What on earth can they possibly do?
No, but it's going to be fun to find out, I guess. Yeah.
Let them worry about it's their job. We can just sit back and enjoy. And
I'm kind of hoping at the Rev Pro to Summer Sizzler. I think I've got a feeling MJF's going to have a successful defense, and after I think Ospreay will maybe make an appearance at that show to hype up All In, maybe do the run in post match. Again, this is obviously we don't know, but that would be great. And by the time those guys get to Wembley, I think that place is going to be absolutely rocking. Last year we were kind of all on he's our scumbag and kangaroo kicks. This year it's going to be it's going to be the American heel versus the British babyface, which is again when people say, why are they doing that? Why are they doing this? That's all you need. And as I say, like, even if you didn't know what all the lead up was, you could tell who was the heel, who was the face. You could be the first match you've ever seen on AEW. So that's what I liked about it.
Definitely.
Something for everyone there. Definitely. Very good.
Absolutely. We are spoiled in 2024. And that was a couple of weeks ago. The week after, the following Dynamite was Blood and Guts, the Elite versus Team AEW. The Elite obviously had Hangman on their side, and Team AEW consisted of Mark Briscoe, Swerve Strickland, Bobby Allen, and both members of the Acclaimed. I thought I was going to forget people there, so I'm proud of myself right now. I don't want to say standard like it's a bad thing, but Blood and Guts is just carnage, isn't it? Pure carnage. Lots of stuff going on, lots of spots, just ridiculous antics, just smashing people over the head and thumbtacks and tables and just stupid shit.
Yeah.
Good stupid shit. But I did think the ending, the way that it ended was the idea was good because they had Jack Perry chained to the cage, ready to die for the Elite, like a martyr, like a scapegoat kind of thing.
Yep.
Leading into the whole scapegoat character, which was brilliant. But I found the whole Maxon quitting on his behalf kind of touch anticlimactic. Yeah. But it was fun getting there. The moment of the match for me was probably Swerve's entrance when Hangman just appeared behind him out of nowhere, and also the Darby Allin climbing up to the top of the cage and then doing a coffin drop. It was ridiculousness in all the best kinds of ways.
The bit that made me cringe was when Bowens had the scissors in the mouth.
No,
that
doesn't work for me, brother.
No, that was pretty gross. But it was. And the bit that made me laugh was the Okada getting the staple in the finger.
Oh yeah.
And he staples his finger, and then the next day he posted like, this is a terrible injury kind of thing. This has got like tiny little staple marks, and then you got Bowens like with his posters like razor wire sucks, and he's just like sliced like all down one side. for me, Bowen's just a standout in that because he's not the
Yeah.
kind of guy you would say is like, oh yeah, he's a hardcore death match. That spot he took off the table, and he was doing some crazy stuff. And
Yeah, definitely.
yeah, it just I don't know the acclaim team. I don't know if it's I don't want to say uneven because that's not the right word. But when but Bowen's is kind of seems to be kind of like breaking out, and from that, whether they will break the acclaimed up
Think,
for a bit, just to give it a little bit
yeah,
of breathing room. But I'm not sure it's this close to like breaking up like the best friends and breaking up Tony and Mariah and breaking,
yeah.
I don't know what they'll do.
We're going to need more tag teams if that's the case, because there
Yeah,
really isn't
man.
a lot of tag teams in AEW. Like, there's loads, and then there's not, and then there's decent amount, and then we're back to not really having any again. And especially with
Mhm.
the Motor City Machine Guns apparently going to WWE, that's one less potential right there. So
Yeah. Yep.
more teams. If
Yeah.
we're going to be
Yeah.
losing, hopefully not losing the acclaimed, because that would suck.
Yeah.
At the moment, at least.
I think they'll bounce
Yeah.
back, and I just think they're kind of with like you say, the lack of tag teams and with the lack of kind of like clear direction for the tag division, they've kind of a lot of people are like going, oh, okay, we could take a break. But I don't think it's their fault. I think it's just that they've, like when Mox had to step up and he was on TV every week bleeding it, and it was, oh, I'm tired of this. Yeah, and you'll miss them when they're gone, and you'll miss them if they split them up. But at the moment, everyone's going, oh, this again. But I see MXM are taking on FTR for Collision, so yeah. So we're and
I love those guys. They are
yeah,
hilarious. They're
yeah,
brilliant.
fantastic,
Like,
yeah,
really, really
yeah.
awesome.
And hopefully Aussie Open will be back
Oh,
again
I
because
miss them so badly.
yeah. I mean, Carl Fletcher's doing great stuff. Really,
Yeah.
like again, similar to when Castor was off and Bowens went on a singles tear. Both those
Mhm.
guys are more than capable of being very good singles wrestlers, but you just want to see Mark Davis better run back, and working teams like MXM, FTR, and building that. If you
Yeah,
compare
definitely.
the tag division of 2024 to 2022, like saying AEW is not really as strong as it used to be.
Yeah, tag division isn't, that's for sure. So the Mariah May and Tony Storm angle. Mariah May won the Owen Cup, and then as Tony was celebrating with her, she was turned on by Mariah, and the beatdown was like, it was monumental, wasn't it? Really, it was
Yeah.
absolutely blood everywhere, absolutely
Mm.
just messy. But
Definitely.
with one of Tony's heels and all that kind of stuff as well.
Yeah.
Like, I thought it was going to be Tony turning on Mariah, so I was really happy to find out that it was in fact the other way around. Just to, got to keep us guessing. And I'm really liking the whole the glamour Mariah May. She was the glamour in Stardom. Is that correct?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah. So she's smashing it at the moment,
Yeah.
and really cool to see. Looking forward to their match.
Yeah, that's it was like you
Oh,
say, it's a massive moment in one of the top angles they've done. That's going to be on highlight reels for years to come. And again, we've just been saying, let's strengthen the tag division, but it wasn't too long ago people saying let's strengthen the women's division, and it's going great guns now. It's just, I think, a case of spinning plates and needing more people. I know they've hired more writers, and there's more people with voices in creative now from like Mercedes, and the writers and things like that have got good clear vision for where they want the women's division to go. For me, it's my favorite storyline in AW at the moment. I think it's really well done. The twists and turns have come, but I think we said last episode we expected a heel turn then. and when it came, you didn't expect it. And like this most recent episodes where they had to pull apart a fight, and you know, with Tony screaming, "Are you ready to die?" It's like,
Yeah,
that's going to be one hell of a match at All In, definitely.
it's going to rule. I'm looking forward to it big time. So elsewhere, the G1 Climax is undergoing. Have you managed to see any of it?
Bits and pieces, but you know,
Yeah.
just catching up on highlights and reviews where I can. It's just been madness at work. You know what it's like at this time of the year and stuff.
Wrestling coming at you from every angle as
Yeah,
well. So
yeah.
that's
Half the
also,
people you work with go on holiday, and the ones that get left behind don't have time to watch the G1, which is a damn shame. Because it's all kind of on in the daytime, isn't it? So you're kind of catching up on your lunch breaks or whatnot. But from what
yeah.
I've seen, I've been very happy with, you know, how it's been going. Some great matches. You know,
Esther's smashing it.
yeah. Going to say some of our favourites: Takeshita, Zack Sabre Jr., and you know, really going great guns, and Gabe Kidd.
Yeah, he had an absolute belter against Shingo the other night. I think yesterday.
Some of that, yeah.
Which I am yet to catch up on. With my daughter being off school because it's the summer holidays and stuff. So I'm finding it really, really hard to try and cram in like 3 hours every day. So I'm not stressing myself out with it too much.
Yeah.
And when it gets to the more, you know, the semis and the final, I'll absolutely watch those matches. But for the moment, I'm a little surprised at some. I've got the leader blocks here, and I'm surprised by a couple of things. So Jake Lee, who recently left Noah and joined New Japan permanently, and is a member of the War Dogs, is only on 2 points. Yota Tsuji is only on 2 points. El Phantasmo is only on 2 points. Shota Umino pinned Zack Sabre Jr. yesterday, which I thought was a pleasant surprise. Also, I just want to give Callum Newman and Bolton Oleg the due because they graduated being young boys, young lions, and when they made the first entrance in the respective G1 matches, they had new themes, new attire. They're now proper men on the roster, if you will, rather than young lions and stuff. So awesome for those guys. Evil is way out top of A block with 10 points, which means he hasn't lost a match yet, I don't think.
That's the creepy thing. That's me saying, you know, I'm happy with the way things are going. Then you show me the facts, and I'm like, geez. Yeah.
I still fully expect Zack Sabre Jr. to win it overall. But yeah, Evil, man, he just keeps on keeping on, doesn't he? And so top of B block, Takeshita and Yuyamura tied on 6 points, which is, you know, a lot less than A block, so a lot less comprehensive. At least it's more evenly balanced. So like I say, I do expect it to be Zack Sabre Jr.'s year, but I'm fairly surprised at a few bits. Maybe they'll do a bit of a Eddie Kingston Continental Classic, lose all the matches and then just about scrape through and then will thing kind of thing.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. Yeah.
So that's always a way to go. Build the whole suspense and whatnot. So but I've only managed to watch bits and pieces. I watched a bit yesterday. Takeshita versus. Oh man, I can't remember. Terrible memory. It's been a long day. I apologise. So that was a good match. I'll be sure to watch as much as I can. But time, that jazz. So elsewhere, should we talk about AJ Styles versus Marufuji?
Great stuff. Yeah.
What a fucking match, dude.
I know, man. And we were looking forward to this one on the last episode,
Yes,
and
we
it's just
were.
what would it be like when you could just you take AJ and just let him go for it. We kind of got a flavour when he had that fight with Cody. Great match
Yeah,
there, and just seeing today the when they did it because they've been on tour in Japan. Cody and AJ giving a too sweet and Nakamura in the ring, and that's
yeah.
kind of like that's the stuff I like, and I know that they have to kind of rein it in what with the particular TV deals they have over in the States.
Mhm.
And I know maybe they're maybe mindful of not going, all balls out every week. But when you see like Marufuji and AJ Styles, it's like that's the AJ I want to see. So sometimes when a wrestler, sport wrestlers, no matter who they're wrestling for, but sometimes I liken it to like a music producer working with a band you love, and you're not a great fan of the producer. And you're like,
Mhm.
will they sound the same when they're working with that guy, or will it sound a bit tamer? Well, this, AJ working with Marufuji and with Noah, he was basically doing what he wanted to do. Those guys absolutely killed it. It's a phenomenal match, and I just wish it kind of got more.
See what he did there.
Thank you. Yeah, and it's and it's just it's sort of one of those matches that, like, you could say it's for the sickos, right?
Yeah.
Like you and I, but it's just one of those matches that they really, I really wish people would be talking more about that when they talk about WWE than maybe some of the stuff I'm not so keen on. And I don't want to be negative, but that deserves all the
Mhm.
plaudits, and it's exactly what I like to see. When rather than setting up as say a WWE Japan, have a more a more collaborative environment where you're working, because everyone loves the stuff they're doing with TNA. Everyone loves it when people are popping up here and there and everywhere. It's just kind of like obviously certain blocks have been removed, which is allowing a more free kind of working environment. I mean, today I saw a picture on Instagram of CM Punk shaking Jesse the Body Ventura's hand at a
Yeah,
WWE show in 2024.
I know, right?
Who would
Yeah,
have thought?
that's
But bring it on. That's
it's cool.
fantastic.
It's cool to see, as controversial as Jesse the Body might be for a
Mm,
multitude of reasons.
yeah.
He's a legend of the business, and he should be treated as so.
Yeah.
So it's nice to see him get his flowers, or
Yeah. Oh, I
whatever
did
you want
watch
to call
something
it.
the other day, an old WCW show, and it must have come out around the time of Predator, because every other bad guy he's going, he reminds me a lot of the Predator. It's like
Yeah.
putting over his movie at every given opportunity. But yeah, when I was a kid, he was like one of the first people I saw on, doing the commentary. As much as I loved the combination of Heenan and Monsoon, which is probably my all-time favorite commentary. When Jesse was on, he was great because he was much like Nigel McGuinness does now, points out the things that the good guys are doing, which the bad guys get slated for, and vice versa. And I just got it like I see it.
Yeah. I really wish I could do an impression of Jesse the Body Ventura. There's a couple of guys on the internet that can do really good ones. Carrying Cross is one of them,
Yeah,
and there's an
oh,
American
fantastic.
comedian.
Yeah,
I
Will
forget the guy.
Sasso, I think.
That's the
Yeah,
man. Yeah, he
he's
was on the.
phenomenal.
He was on Chris Van Vliet, I think that's
Mm.
how you say his name, a few months ago, and I was just absolutely just like, holy hell, that's so good.
Yeah, people definitely need to check his stuff out because he's hilarious.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
Yeah, cool.
yeah.
Cool
He
that.
had there was a thing recently with Kevin Nash, and he was saying, well, Kevin Nash was saying, well, Will Sasso's impressions of me is like, well, I didn't have a problem with such and such. And he's like, well, if that's your take on me, that I didn't have a problem with anyone, that's okay with me. It's like, what happened to that Kevin Nash?
Yeah. Well, yeah. So, just having a little scoot through. So, did you manage to see TNA Slammiversary
Yeah,
or ROH Death Before Dishonor? We'll kind of put this both in the
again,
similar time.
really both very good pay-per-views there. Both well worth your time checking out. Again, plenty of surprises. I mean, the Ring of Honor, Mark was just saying that Mark Briscoe, he's been putting in some hours, hasn't he? God damn it.
He was on Dynamite. Was he on Rampage? He was on.
He did
on
Blood and
ROH,
Guts,
and then and then he was on Collision as well. After, it's like absolute nutcase.
I think, and I think you pointed out that Leo Rush was simultaneously on Rampage and Ring of Honor. He came out at the same time. So if you're watching both feeds, there's two Leo Rush.
Absolutely wild, mate. But a good bit of fun, that stuff. I enjoyed both shows. I was a bit surprised by the outcome of the world title match in the TNA show, because I thought they were just going to put it on Joe Hendry because he's like white hot at the moment.
Yeah.
But getting MF being your world champion is always just fantastic.
He ain't bad, is he?
Fantastic thing. A fantastic thing. So I just thought with Joe Hendry being quite, he's always on NXT now, isn't he? Like almost every week. So turning up with the TNA title makes sense to me. Unless they've got like a reason for it, TNA have been quite prone to weird decisions over the years, let's be honest. But good show. Speedball and Mustafa Ali absolutely killed it, man. It was fucking excellent. What a match.
Yeah, those guys are great. Again, another two of our, you'll often hear us each show talk about those guys, their work they do. They're just phenomenal. Always, you never put on a bad match. You see those guys on a card, check them out because you won't be disappointed, will you? It's
never. Speedball's one of the most underrated guys on the planet, to be honest with you.
Yeah, exactly.
Never misses. He could wrestle thinner like nobody and make it look good.
I mean, it's no coincidence since like Ibushi came back, and his best match was in the GCW with Speedball. So
that was for Bloodsport, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that last WrestleMania. Or was it?
The Mania weekend.
Maybe the one before. Yeah, maybe the one before. Sure. So Slammiversary was good. That match was one of my favorites of the year, easily. I loved the whole screw job leaning into and stuff. They got El Hebner down, and Ali had pink tights on. Yeah, and he was trying to like recreate the Montreal screw job because that's where Speedball is from. It was the hometown boy from Montreal and stuff. So I thought that was a really, really nice touch.
Yeah.
But then El Hebner redeemed himself after 25 years and fixed the right call. So
it's hilarious, and it's good that it was a sellout crowd, the right size arena for it, and a right size kind of atmosphere. It was a good, solid pay-per-view, and after we were saying, to maybe the first 6 months, it hasn't lived up to our expectations because we have very lofty expectations. But this is it's good to see that there's they're getting the feeling back after the blow that was losing Scott D'Amore, and the fact that they can see opportunities with this partnership with WWE, with NXT. It's kind of lit a fire under everyone to kind of basically go out and show what they can do to a bigger audience. And it's great that you'll have people who are WWE watchers tuning into TNA and vice versa. It's more eyes on the product. It's all good stuff.
Yeah, definitely. And quick congratulations to Athena, who is fast approaching 600 days as ROH Women's World Champion. I'm ready for her to be on AEW rather than ROH. This is cool. It's really cool. I'm all for long title reigns and setting records, and she's an absolute boss. But I'm very ready for her to be on AEW, and I think, in my opinion, it's been long overdue because she's probably pound for pound probably the best wrestler in that entire locker room as a package, character-wise, work-wise.
Yeah,
in my opinion, at least. So. Yeah,
and
for sure.
Exactly, and someone you totally deserve to have a spot on the card for All In, I would say.
Yes, absolutely, 100%. It's. I said last year to my mate that I went with. I wonder if next year they'll do like an ROH pay-per-view, like the night before or something. Make the most of it being in London. Give way more of the roster a chance to be in front of a London crowd and perform in England and all that kind of stuff, but obviously that's not how it's happened, and that's fair enough. Maybe a few people will turn up at Rev Pro the night before.
Yeah, I mean, Athena
yeah, that'd be sick. Are you going to the? Did you get a ticket to the anniversary show?
Yes, going to the night before. So,
oh man, I'll be watching it on the coach on the way down. So I will not be missing that. So we haven't really touched much on WWE, to be fair, but in my I'm guilty of not really watching a lot of it this month. I've watched the Wyatt Six stuff, just out of pure curiosity. Big horror buff, so all the spooky, weird, kooky stuff is interesting to me. I did see that. I did see about the Hurt business basically all being available as free agents. Yeah. It's very interesting. Yeah. Minus Nick Alexander because he's still contracted. But it'd be really interesting and cool to see them turn another promotion as the Hurt, but not a form of the Hurt business. That'd be cool.
MVP showing up at Bloodsport, didn't he? And
cool.
Josh Barnett. Sick.
Yeah, Josh Barnett pulls the strings. He knows everybody. The signing of Stephanie Vaquer caused a bit of a stir. Let's see what I did there. Wait. At the time, great signing. She had offers from WWE, from AEW. If there was another big company, she'd have had offers from them as well because she is just incredibly talented. You'll have seen her on the last Forbidden Door versus Mercedes. But I've seen her a few times on like New Japan American shows and a few other indie shows and stuff like that. She's amazing at what she does. So I'm very happy for her to have got her sign into WWE and stuff. But it was a bit of a strange one, really. It seemed to burn bridges with CMLL fairly comprehensively, and AEW was said not to be very happy, and people were apparently throwing accusations at WWE tampering with contracts and stuff like that. I mean, we know nothing. We know absolutely nothing. Just kind of echoing.
And I think for her, it's a childhood dream. I mean, there's people have gone back and she's been saying, that's where I want to be. And she's done absolutely, in my opinion. Obviously, I'm going to the anniversary show and would have seen her fight.
Of course,
great. She had to drop out, which is obviously disappointing. But she has played the being free, putting herself first on what she wants to getting where she wants to be. Hats off. I think. You can't fault that kind of ambition, and she is where she wants to be, and she's going to have some great matches. Hopefully she'll be over with the crowd. I think she will be. I think every time I've seen her wrestle live and on TV, crowd will eat it up because she's that good a wrestler. And
hopefully they don't just lumber her in with the LWO or whatever's going on there, because I've seen people online like accusing WWE of just kind of putting all the Hispanic wrestlers in one group or into like one storyline and stuff.
Yeah.
So I mean, whatever. I don't
Yeah.
pay that much attention to it.
No.
Just try and enjoy yourselves, is what I'll say. But yeah, she's a great wrestler. It was a really quick signing, to be fair, because like it was announced like the day. It was announced like the day or two before they went to Mexico City to do Arena Mexico, and then she was on that show.
Yeah.
So it was a very, very quick turnaround for her. So I don't know, very cool. Whatever the case. Ethan Page is NXT champion. Yeah,
he is, and again another. I've seen like controversy where he came out with a statement saying he's now happy to be part of. I think he was taken out of context a bit more of a machine where he doesn't have to worry about doing everything for himself. I think it's kind of like if you're at that point in life where you just want to turn up for work and just concentrate on putting on the best wrestling matches without having to go and pitch and push yourself. And I think he's more than happy to be there. And yeah, he's doing great stuff in NXT. I recently saw an interview with Scorpio Sky, and he was saying like, obviously with Men of the Year, when Scorpio Sky picked up his injury, he's now back from injury, but it's hard to get back in with such a full roster on AEW. So Ethan Page took himself out of AEW, put himself onto Ring of Honor. This is what I can do, and if there's not an opening there, yeah, by all means, go to where you are going to be on the main attraction on weekly television.
Yeah,
makes perfect
absolutely
sense. Yeah.
No complaints from me, and I'm thrilled to see him as a champ because I've always been a fan. Been a fan. So cool for him. Very, very cool indeed. I don't remember watching. I don't think I watched Money in the Bank. I meant to, but I just forgot. Didn't get round to it. So
seems a long time ago.
Let's skip that now, I guess. Yeah, it was a long time.
Yeah.
All I've got written down here at Money in the Bank is Drew screwed and Tango Loa sucks.
Oh well, that was Tango Loa punching Kevin Owens up the bum and then smashing his brother in the head.
Yeah. It's terrible.
But he loves it because it's kind of like if they signed him after they saw that stuff he was getting up to with Okada, you kind of buyer's remorse. You should have checked under the hood. He's my favorite comedy wrestler. He's just
without meaning to be.
I watched that back over and over and over, and it's just like, and he pats him on the head. Sorry, man. It's just great. That combined with when it with the late rolling in France, it's kind of like you can only watch the Shockmaster falling on his ass so many times before you need a new all-time favorite blooper, and that's But SummerSlam coming up. Drew and CM Punk, absolutely one of my favorite feuds right now. Those guys still gunning for each other, still constantly screwing each other out of opportunity, almost causing actually caused fistfights apparently reportedly in Scotland amongst the fans afterwards. It's really lit a fire under what's going on in there. You would not be blamed to think that was the main attraction for SummerSlam when they're putting on Cody versus Solo, and it's because it's just got that much more anticipation about it. Maybe they've had to stretch this out because of the injury to Punk. But Drew with playing it straight in the ring and then going on social media and being a complete wild man, posting pictures with Jack Perry, melting the internet, deleting it quickly. But
hilarious.
you know,
hilarious.
in Star Wars, where Obi-Wan's on the Millennium Falcon and he senses that the planet's been destroyed, and it's like it's 1,000 voices screaming out at once or whatever. When I saw that picture, I could hear like millions of people screenshotting before before it was taken
Yeah.
down, and it's just and the memes that have come out since then, really funny, and
Yeah, definitely.
yeah, and again, it seems to be you know Punk seems really happy in WWE. Saw a picture of him today. Obviously with him and Jesse Ventura, him hanging out with Darby and Brody King at one of the conventions. You know, grinning ear to ear. It's just, yeah, he's you know, he said that, you know, he's happy with where he is and working this program with Drew. They're both, you know, doing great stuff, and it'd be interesting to see how Seth Rollins factors in as the referee, and you know what his outfit will look like.
Oh my word! Yeah, that's always a question with freaking the freaking man. So I really want Drew to win this feud. I really, really do, because I kind of low key hate Punk.
I think he's been screwed so many times by Punk. He has to win, doesn't he?
Yeah,
because he's
definitely.
come so close.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, Punk's on last chance saloon. If you ask me, if he ruins this last run with WWE after they've had him back, there's nowhere for him to go. Really, I don't think TNA working with WWE won't go there. ROH is basically AEW. He's not going to go there. I don't see him going to Japan and putting in the miles and the time and the effort and stuff. That would be cool. Don't get me wrong, but I just see it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, cool, man. Have you seen Jinder Mahal is on the Indies as Raj Desi? He's very much put himself into GCW's plans. He ran in and attacked Effie, and he's got a program coming up with Matt Cardona, which is pretty sick for when Cardona comes back from injury.
Yeah,
and he's also the Black Label Pro champion as well. So he's wasted no time making waves on the Indies and stuff. So I'm sure he'll be on Rev Pro Progress at some point in the very near future. So yeah, freedom. It's nice to see people getting freedom after so many years of just being within the same construct, confines, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
So
I mean, yeah, and being brought back as the joke, being the punchline before it was revealed that it was actually The Rock was the former champion, you know.
Yeah.
And some of the interviews he's, you know, people should check out some of the interviews he's given since leaving. It's quite, you know, eye-opening what he's said. He's like obviously an intelligent, thoughtful guy, and it'd be really interesting to see how now he's got his own creative vision, what he does in the Indies. And yeah, it's yeah, another exciting prospect.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, lots has happened, and I'm sure as soon as we finish up this recording, something else will happen, and that'll have to roll over into next month's show.
Oh, I've just remembered Ibushi showing up at DDT.
Oh, of course, yeah, definitely, yeah. That was emotional, wasn't it?
Yeah, when Takagi was, you know, was kind of hanging up his boots and having his retirement ceremony, and Ibushi showed up for one last match. So what form that takes, we'll have to wait and see. What condition Ibushi's ankle is in, we don't know, but obviously they're happy with it, and he's been out for a while. Yeah, and yeah, it's just when you start thinking about like the injuries, and you look at like for all the people that are currently like shelved with injuries right now. Obviously, you know, we send our best wishes to all of them. I hope they get a speedy recovery. But there's almost like another wrestling promotion full of injured wrestlers right now, and they're all big names. You know, from your Eddie Kingstons, your Kenny Omegas, to your Sky Blues. You know, it's there's a lot of guys and girls out there that are, you know, on the mend. So it just shows you how, you know, whether it's WWE, TNA, AEW, how strong and deep everyone's roster is, and how the talent is adapting and carrying these shows through these periods of so you're not even if a few years ago said AEW will have some of its best runner shows with Kenny Omega on the shelf, you'd be like, really? So it's never good to see injuries, but it's good that we can see constantly good TV that isn't suffering too much. Obviously,
sure,
you got we said like Mark Briscoe having to put in maybe a few more shifts than is necessary, but these guys are really all stepping up to their respective companies, and it's good to see.
Yeah, for sure, dude, for sure. And unfortunately, we are running out of time, so I'm going to start winding down. If you're still listening, you are an absolute hero. Thank you very much for your time. If you want to interact with us and stuff, feel free to comment on the post when it goes up on the YouTube, on the Facebook, whatever your preferred platform is. Feel free. Did we miss anything? Are you happy with the format of the show, how we do things? Just let us know. Be nice though. I'm only little. So like I say, thank you very much for joining us once again. We will be back in roughly a month's time, post All In. So we might have a little All In extra show for you, maybe. See if Scott is game, which I'm sure he will be.
Yeah.
Shout out to Fast Count Clothing, our partners. Shout out to Tidal Wrestling, our partners, and shout out to True Grit Wrestling, who we sponsor, and shout out to just all the sickos out there. Scott, socials, where can we find you, dude?
Yeah, head over to Instagram, Scenes of Graphite Horror. If you see the title card for the show, that's something I drew. So always trying to draw when I can. Wrestlers Horror.
He has talented hands.
Come and say hello. And if there's anything you want to see drawn, maybe I'm drawing it. Suggestions, whatever.
Yeah, cool, man. And of course, you can find Work the Left Side at WTLS 316 on Instagram, at Work the Left Side on Facebook, WTLS. I think it's 316 on Twitter, WTLS 420 on TikTok, and something else. I'm not sure, but terrible, terrible. But anyway, thank you for joining us, and we shall see you in a month's time.